All right, welcome back to Buffalo Plus. Dan Fates, I am Jenna Cottrell. We're here at Highmark Stadium on the field as Sean McDermott, Josh Allen, a couple Bills teammates wrapping up their press conferences today. As this is the first time we've heard from them since, the terrifying thing that happened on Monday night. The good news is Damar Hamlin has been seeing remarkable improvement according to his doctors, which I know Bills fans breathing a sigh of relief, this team breathing a sigh of relief as well. But today I felt like very raw emotion, understandably, when we talked to this Bills team. What was your takeaway?
I think it was a day that we all kind of were hoping for. I think this is the day that we were kind of praying for, to hear. We got to talk to the doctors at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center that just gave them the encouraging progress. To say that the life-saving measures by the Bills training staff, by the medical personnel at Paycor Stadium, not only saved Damar Hamlin's life, they saved his neurological function too.
His brain function as well.
Incredible to hear those high-level medical officials smile, laugh, say how fortunate they are. They said they're not out of the woods, that there are still several steps that need to go. He remains in critical condition. He's still severely ill, but he still is on the ventilator. They'll keep him on it as long as they need him to. They're using it as an aid. He's squeezing hands. He's writing messages. One of the first messages he wrote to his bedside nurse was, "Did we win?" The doctors corrected him and correctly pointed out, yes, Damar, you won in the game of life. Those kind of moments today, we had that Zoom this afternoon. I know you were emotional.
Yeah.
You texted the group text saying the tears are starting to flow. I think we had all been on edge.
Yeah.
When Mike and I spoke in Cincinnati on Tuesday, we had some encouraging news, but it was all very guarded. To hear that he's awake, to hear that he's alert, to hear that he's understanding the message, that the support that's showing for him, pretty cool day. Pretty cool day.
I couldn't agree more. And the fact that the first thing he wrote was, "Did we win?" I mean, it brings levity to a situation, and it made me tear up because I know what that means to the team. And Josh Allen even talked about, that's what you want in a teammate, but also just the fact that, Damar's head is well, what happened in the game? How is the team doing? Not as much how he is doing. And you talk about we're only a couple days removed from that scary incident. And, you see something like that happen, and you saw the players' reactions, the team reactions of just how severe everything was and what happened, what actually happened, and to now see where Damar is at, and just you can tell that relief on the team as well.
The team practiced for the first time today. Media was not allowed, but they did release, the team released video as well as pictures, and you saw smiles. And I think that was what we had all been waiting for. Mitch Morris and Josh Allen also expressing that it's the unknown that is frightening. Excuse me. And those kind of emotions that went back and forth. Josh Allen said that Damar Hamlin's father spoke to the team yesterday, meaning my days are so mixed up, Wednesday, and pretty much told the team you have to go back to work, that you have to go back to chasing the team's goals. You have to go back because that is what Damar would want. And Josh said it was more of a command than a message. And he goes, how can we not honor him and his son's request? We have to go back to work, and that's part of it. But it was the uplifting news today, I think, that allowed him. And the messages, I don't think they practice today if they don't get the encouraging news that he is neurologically intact, that he has shown remarkable signs of improvement, which, again, is all credit to Denny Killington and the Bills staff for saving Damar Hamlin's life.
And the medical staff even talking about that. And Sean McDermott opened his press conference essentially saying, thank you to everyone, because it was everyone's effort and fast acting and just their approach and composure in front of a stadium full of people that literally led to saving Damar Hamlin's life, his brain function, it seems, all of those things that are so vital and essential to, it's way more than just the football game. It's about way more than that. I loved what Josh said when he said, it feels so good to move on. But at the same point, he was like, I'd be lying to you if guys, what they witness has not forever changed some people. And I think there is so much positivity, of course, but what was witnessed, obviously, was terrifying. And I think the team holds that in their memory, but also has the appreciation of now knowing that things are looking a lot more encouraging.
Correct. And also, knowing what happened, there were questions of how do you go back out on the field knowing that. And Josh said that they've had psychologists. I can say that from the minute that this incident happened, I was there underneath the stadium. I saw psychologists making their way to the Bills locker room, like instantly that night, those hours, minutes after, to process all of this. They said that they have increased their mental health individuals to help them process all these things. And Josh said that's you kind of know that that's part of the deal that you sign up for as a football player, and they were assured that this is such a freak incident.
Yeah.
And I thought that, and Josh also stood up for T. Higgins, saying that, look, it's a football play. He did nothing wrong. Nobody did anything wrong. It just was one of those freak, worst case in a million years scenario.
Yeah, and Sean McDermott was asked by Josh Reed of WIVB about, so many, you're taking care of your players, but how are you taking care of yourself? Yeah. And I thought it was really important to add that Sean McDermott says, he's human. He is human, and that, he has needed to take breaks when he can, and that,
said that.
Yeah, and that the fact of, he is talking as well to these counselors that have been made available that are already, a lot of them already in-house, which I think is important to add. Yep. But he's saying that's not a sign of weakness, that's a sign of strength for this team, and as well as the head coach, because of what was witnessed on Monday night.
And I think that's the chilling reminder too, or maybe not chilling, maybe that's the positive reminder that these athletes, we can criticize them. We can criticize Sean McDermott for making a bad call. We can criticize a player for dropping a pass. Just also understand that they are human beings and they are shaken up by events. Yeah. They have feelings, they bleed, they have emotions, and all of those things. And we so often, and I know I've talked about here, we think of them as robots, that they're professional athletes. And Deion Dawkins being like, we're not celebrities, we're not stars, we're not anything in this moment. We are human beings. Yeah. And I think that is, again, seemingly like we are trending in the right direction of a somewhat positive outcome is very encouraging. Doctors did say they are nowhere near ready to have the conversation of Damar Hamlin's football career.
Which is, of course.
But it seems like their goal is, they said, to get him back to where he was at 8 o'clock on Monday night. Those are all encouraging signs to me.
Absolutely. And Sean McDermott was asked, as well as Josh Allen, just what the support
that was emotional.
And of the toy drive reaching over $7 million from people like you all watching this video who wanted to help, wanted to do something. Yep. I mean, these donations stretch across the country and probably well beyond. And that was really when things emotionally, you could tell, Sean McDermott needed to take a pause, and Josh Allen kind of put his head down because of how much that meant, and what Damar's mother, Nina, said, like what they will be able to do with that money. And I think that to me is just, it matters. And I don't want to cry, so I'm not going to cry. I don't. But I think the lasting impact from this, obviously things continue to progress, which is amazing for Damar Hamlin, and you want to continue to see that. And also it's so amazing to see how regular people have contributed so much. Yeah,
it's the silver lining in this terrible tragedy that there is some good coming out of this. It's also a good reminder of the medical personnel, and like I said, Sean McDermott's like, you practice. He's like, but practice like it's real. And like you said, Denny Killington and those guys, I know I said in the last video that it's easy to sit back and diagnose it and take a sip of coffee and watch it on TV and then be a doctor and go on TV and explain it. Yeah. It's another thing to do it in seconds. And they correctly diagnosed everything. We studied for tests. We failed tests. They passed the test with flying colors. And this whole thing coming kind of full circle is just, again, I don't know if the Bills even have this press conference. I don't know if the Bills practice. I don't know if they play on Sunday. And we will transition into a football game at some point in the coming days. But if there wasn't encouraging signs from today.
I completely agree. And, Josh Allen was asked kind of point blank, do you feel ready to play in an NFL game on Sunday in just a couple of days? And
I do.
That made me feel better because I believed it.
Yeah, and like I said, I think everybody needs this. I think the players do need this. They're a different breed. We've talked about they can compartmentalize things differently, and I think they know that they need to get back out there for Damar too, and that's what he would want. Yeah. And this has just been an exhausting few days.
Yeah, it really has, because, you're minute to minute wondering what's happening. I mean, the team, the emotion there, and then the trudging on that the NFL schedule does. And we know that it's in some points seems relentless throughout the season. And, I felt encouraged by the fact that the team feels ready to play. And they talked about how they'll have number 3 on their hearts and on their mind, and then also what this stadium will be like on Sunday.
John McDermott also said how much this team's been through is just
how much Buffalo has been through.
Yeah, Buffalo in this team. But it's funny because it's hard to separate one from the other.
Yeah,
with how close this team is and the fans
and in the community.
It just seems like they've been fighting waves from the ocean, one after another, and yeah, not bad, right?
I like that.
They just keep coming.
Yeah.
So, I'm exhausted. I know you're exhausted. You've been working. It's not about us. It's just been. I know it's exhausting and terrifying for you. I know a lot of people message saying they haven't been able to sleep much.
Yeah.
We're all in that boat together. But hopefully this gives people, like I said, I think I tweeted out just the fact of how much joy and a reason to exhale today after hearing those doctors.
Yeah.
And I go, I can't even imagine what it's like for those in that locker room.
Yeah.
Again, we know Damar. We don't know him like his teammates, his brothers, his family. What that must have been like.
Yeah. Positive updates though, and the team. I think they needed that today, honestly, to talk to us, and the cathartic nature that was for them to kind of, have that sigh of relief and know that things are looking very bright as we go forward. All right, we're going to wrap up here. For Dan, I thought you were going to yawn for a second. For Dan,
just a sigh.
I'm Jenna. Yeah, let's,
Continue prayers.
you know what? Yeah, continued positive thoughts for Damar Hamlin, and also just,
Take care of yourself.
Exactly. Take a moment tonight or whenever you're watching this and just maybe be grateful for everything that you have.
Now you're going to cry.
I'm not going to cry, but it really does, dang it. It really does just put into reference, how fragile it all is. So thank you.
Some things are bigger than sports.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe because that's tacky.
Very
so
tacky.
I appreciate you all for watching, and we will see you next time if you tune in on Buffalo Plus. Thank you.